Hey, good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Morning, Judge.
Hope everybody's well.
We are. How about you?
We're blessed. Uh, we're doing this HVAC project here at the courthouse, and it's been ongoing. And we went through an extended period with no HVAC, and now we're in a what they've got it in they call construction mode, and I feel like I'm in Siberia. Um, so it's from one end to the other. It'll all be for the better. So
Feast or famine?
yes, it is. Just letting you know as well that I signed those um, checks and they're ready to be picked up.
Okay. We'll get those picked up today. Get that money in the bank for you.
Is it kind of out of regular regular pattern for that particular employer for that payroll service to be delayed? Is that kind of an outlier?
Yeah, I mean, when it's end of quarter, which is what June payroll is, it's also end of quarter. Sometimes it can be a little longer. Sometimes there's postal issues, but it does happen from time to time. But I wouldn't say it's a habit with them. Would you agree with that, John?
No, it's definitely better than it has been. There were about 2 years ago, it'd be consistently after month end before we get it, and they're getting a little bit closer to that, 15th date on them, those
Yeah.
quarterly ones.
Well, it's 10 a.m. Got Mayor Jenkins proxy, Devin Golden.
Good morning.
Is
Morning, Devin.
Is Billy Parker with us?
I do not see him yet. Let's see.
Hitting with a text message. Usually when I text him, he automatically repeats.
I did not get a proxy from Gina, so I'm assuming he's just running a little behind.
Billy is hopping on.
Can you hear me, Joe Pat?
Yes, I can hear you, Billy.
All right, super.
No, great to have you. So with that said, I will call this Georgetown Scott County Revenue Commission meeting to order. This is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. This is our regular business meeting. I'll call the roll. Billy Parker is present, and Devin Golden is the proxy for Mayor Jenkins. So with that said, we have a forum. We can conduct business and take action. The first item of on our agenda for review is the review and approval of minutes from our last meeting on 6/24/26. Those meeting minutes have been shared by email. Are there any questions or comments related to those as presented?
I have none. Make a motion to accept those minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion, we have a second. Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. That will lead us to number 4 on our agenda, legal update. Phil, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
All right. As you may know, the Kentucky League of Cities has been in litigation with Airbnb over the last 2.5 years, seeking to require Airbnb to collect transient room taxes, local transient room taxes, to which Airbnb has so far refused to do so. In a narrow 4-3 decision issued on June 25th of this year, the Kentucky Supreme Court ruled that the League of Cities did not have legal standing to pursue those claims on behalf of its member cities. The League of Cities has filed a motion asking for a rehearing of the case. That motion is still pending. Airbnb has until August the 3rd to respond to the motion, which assuredly they will, after which time that motion will stand submitted to the Supreme Court. If they grant the motion, then the court will review the case again to determine whether it might have overlooked a material fact or a controlling issue of law. If it denies the motion, then the prior ruling will become final. We will update you in a future meeting about the status of that motion and what the status of the litigation is. There's no real timetable required by the, as I understand it, by the rules of procedure for the court to rule on that motion. It might be weeks or it might even be a few months, although this is an issue of significant importance across the state. So I would tend to think the ruling would come sooner than later. Any questions on that as it stands now?
No, sir.
I appreciate that, and we'll all be watching. So, anything else? All right.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up House Bill 518. This is the bill that passed last session, requiring standardized forms. We had our first meeting with Secretary of State's office and all the other persons named to the committee, and that went well. Only one motion was passed at that meeting, and it passed with only one nay vote. That was to keep the 2 existing standardized forms, which were created almost a decade ago. However, we will proceed with looking at creating a standardized payroll form that we could also add to that. So that's basically the extent of that. But as we continue to meet, we've got another meeting scheduled for August, and I will continue to keep you updated on that as I continue to serve on as one of KLC's members appointed to that committee. So that's the only update I have at this time on House Bill 518 and the committee to implement that.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that information. Any questions additionally there for Scott? If none, then we'll move that. It's into item 5. Scott?
All right, we have 2 penalty and interest abatement requests this month. One is a denial, one is an approval. The first one is a $75 request. You can see in bold there the city, county, and school portions of that. This is for net profit tax year 24. All the tax liability per our policy has been paid in full before we consider the request. It was submitted actually and signed by the taxpayer's CPA. The box on the form is checked indicating unavailability of relevant business records. However, the written narrative that they submitted, they make no mention of unavailability of relevant business records. Instead, what they state is that there was no activity in Georgetown, Scott County for the tax year, and the client was unaware that they needed to file a net profit return. The CPA that submitted this has actually been preparing the taxpayer's net profit returns since 2022. And additionally, the P&I abatement request states that they are asking for a one-time courtesy waiver, but no one-time courtesy waiver form was submitted. Per our policy, that one-time courtesy waiver is only available to new businesses, and this business has been filing with the Revenue Commission since 2018, so they are ineligible for that waiver. Per our policy, the abatement request, as it's stated, also does not qualify as reasonable cause for a standard abatement. Our recommendation to the commissioners is to deny this request, the amount of $75. CPA will be reminded that our local ordinances, regs, forms, instructions, and FAQs, all of which are located on our website, are very clear in communicating that a net profit tax return must be filed timely each year, even if no net profit is reported. That's because that is how their business license renews. If they do not file a net profit return, even though they're still engaged in business activity, they are operating without a business license. Our website's available 24/7, 365 for both taxpayers and tax professionals, with the understanding and so that they can understand and comply with all local tax filing requirements. Further, by law, the burden is on the taxpayer to do their due diligence in advance of tax filing deadlines in order to remain compliant and maintain a valid business license, and most importantly, avoid costly penalties and interest. Taxpayers CPA will further be informed that they're welcome to submit additional relevant, pertinent, applicable information, and we will be happy to reconsider our decision.
Questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of a denial.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll move to the second one.
All right, taxpayer B here. This is a $50 net profit late filing penalties for tax year 2025. For this taxpayer, you can see there's only a county and a school board there. There was no city. This business is outside the city limits. So it's $50. Our recommendation is to approve. All of their tax liability has been paid in full. The taxpayer checked unavoidable absence as reasonable cause, and in their written narrative, they state that their CPA unexpectedly passed away on April 7th, 8 days before the tax filing deadline. And the taxpayer also provided the obituary. Per our policy, this does indeed qualify for reasonable cause for abatement, and our recommendation is to approve this request for $50 of abatement.
Questions or comments? Would there be a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That will lead us to number 6 in general discussion with Scott Hall.
All right. So general discussion. There were no new projects for Scott County for June 2026. That's the first bullet point here. We are back on track with the KJRA payments with one of our large employers here. The April inducement payment was paid in June of 2026. Also, when we pay that, I want to remind you there's also a portion of that gets paid to Scott County United every month as well for the 10 months of these inducement payments. And I want to also share with you that I've been contacted by members of the Scott County United Board, and they have asked me if I would be interested in serving as an ex officio member on that board. We talked about the commitments. I said I was honored to be asked and that I would, but I did want to present that to the commissioners. Not really an action item, just wanted to make sure that you did not have any opposition to me doing that if I'm nominated.
I support that position for your position, Scott, because I was in a conversation that I just think it would be a good fit. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I couldn't see any reason to oppose that, Scott. Sounds like a good idea.
it's not a huge time commitment. It's not gonna impact anything. I think with the
Yeah.
So
They do meet on the same day we do, the fourth Wednesday of the month, but it's in the evening. So it will not conflict with our meetings at all. Yeah. So, all right. Our external, so I appreciate that. It's honored to be asked, and I'll be happy to serve if that happens. The third bullet here lets you know our external auditors are scheduled to be on site 8/24 through 8/27. That's a month earlier than normal, but that's no problem. We've already got that scheduled. We're already uploading documents to the secure portal to make that happen. Also, the week before that, our COLA Fall Conference is in Shelbyville this year. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this year. That's a departure for us as well. But we do have some folks going to that, but we will not be requesting to close the office. We will remain open to serve the taxpayers while some of us go for some additional training. Our tax compliance analyst position that we talked about last month has closed as of July 16th. So I'll be pulling down those applications. We'll be setting up interviews for that. So this takes us to the individual compliance efforts for the month. June was another good month there. You can see $96,000 was collected for the month of June. Phil had about almost 5,000, Tammy a little over 7. Michelle Disney had a tremendous month, 18,000 there. And look at Denny, another $66,000. You can see the splits, so how much of it's net profit versus how much of it's payroll. And I went ahead since the end of the fiscal year and put together some aggregate numbers for you. These delinquent collections, now this is over and above what just voluntarily comes in from taxpayers. These are accounts we have to pursue because they're delinquent. Was $1.4 million, $1,458,000 to be exact. And you can see our operating budget was also 1.4 million, 1.49. So we missed it by about 32,000, but we almost completely covered our entire operational budget just with these additional team collections. So kudos to our team for these delinquency efforts, because that, pretty much takes care of our whole operating budget, just these efforts that they engage in.
that kudos to you all, and I appreciate the data there in the comparison on the operating budget. Like tip my hat to you all for, it's out there, trying to do what's right, and I appreciate it very, very much.
Yeah, great information, and the diligence pays off.
Absolutely. All right, so this will take us to our electronic payment summary, and I think this is a new record here. For June, first of all, it was $1.2 million. You can see there's something new here. This is something we've not seen before. This is ACH. We've done some testing with some of our payroll providers. We had a large $715,000 ACH payment, so we're hoping to get more of the payroll providers doing this. They want this, and now we have this option, and it's actually happening. So a $1.2 million electronic payments in 1 month for June. We used to get that in a whole year. So people are continuing to embrace online electronic payments of their taxes. And the roll up for the year, I'm pretty sure this is a record. I'll double check this, but 3.6 million came in for the entire year. Of course, that's all on the web. We don't have a point of sale unit anymore. It's all done online. 65% of that's net profit. 35% of it was payroll. As always, the vast majority is e-checks because that's a flat fee. It's $1.95, whether you owe us $10 or $10,000. So, and then some debits and credit cards, and then of course now the ACH is taking up 20% of that as well. So that's where the electronic payments are going. Our taxpayers are embracing that method of payment. Any questions on that?
Nope, just demonstrates we're pivoting with the world.
Yes.
You probably talked about this at other meetings, and I apologize since I'm not typically on here, but do you feel that does the electronic payment option and the increased usage there show on the inverse with decreased delinquencies? Yeah.
I think you're back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking if those electronic options and ramping up that option and seeing increases there is showing fewer issues on the delinquency side that you all have to pursue, or is that or is there not a connection there?
Well, we haven't looked at that. You never know with this if these are people that would have written a check anyway, and
Right.
they're happy to pay the convenience fee for the convenience. Obviously, our delinquency collections are continuing to increase. So, but
Think you're frozen.
I can hear you, Devin. Billy, can you hear me? Scott?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right, you froze for a while, Scott, but I get the picture. So thank you.
Okay, so the monthly collection stats there, you can see it was an up month. We ended the fiscal year with an up June, about $376,000, 8.4% across the board. City was up about 7.3%, county aggregate collection 7.9%, and the school board was up 14% compared to the same month last year. This will also take us to the quarterly stats. Everyone can see that. So we plugged in the June numbers. This now completes the fiscal year for 2026. You can see in the aggregate collections, we are down 4.1 million. But these blue figures down here, this is what we were competing with. We had two very large net profit deposits, which we don't get every year, that did occur in the last fiscal year. So when we're comparing 25 to 26, we had $11.3 million in net profit deposits, and those are in advance of estimated payments. They file later in the year. So while we are down 4.1 million, we were competing against $11.3 million that we did not receive this year. This line here, this is the aggregate collections. Again, the city comparison this year and last year, the county comparison this year and last year, and the school board comparison. And then down here at the bottom, we also have what was actually distributed after we took out refunds and the inducement payments, things of that nature. So 26 to 27, what we actually distributed to the city, what we actually distributed to the county compared to last year, and what we actually distributed to the school board compared to the last fiscal year. So this fiscal year is in the books. That's the final unaudited numbers. As I mentioned, our auditors are coming next month to take a look at that. We'll get those reports later in the year. But are there any questions about the quarterly data?
None from me. Appreciate all the hard work and effort and the detail. And it's a very strong leader, in my opinion.
Thank you, Judge. And so we got the opened and closed accounts. We had 90 new accounts open and 52 closed for the month of June. That's compared to 66 and 29 a year ago. That puts us as the first 6 months of 2026. We look at this in a calendar year. So the first 6 months of 26, we're averaging 109 new businesses opening every single month and 70 closing. So and it goes, those are not businesses that are closing. Those are just accounts that have closed. A lot of times a new business company will come in and buy another business. So it's kind of a wash, but that's where we're standing. If we maintain this for the next 6 months, this 109 average, we're going to wind up again well over 1,000, probably closer to 1,300 new business accounts set up in the coming year. And then the last page here is all the cumulative data going back a number of years. And as of right now, I always highlight this number. We're sitting at 11,367 open active occupational license tax accounts. any questions on any of that data in the general discussions?
None from me. Anyone else?
No, sir.
That leads us to number 7, our next meeting, Wednesday, August 26th, 10 a.m. Got that on my calendar. Any questions or comments there? Well, if not, then there'd be a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Appreciate everybody's information and work. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you all for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott and team.
Thank you.